Hey everyone, this is Pat Mesiti, and thank you so much for tuning in. 4:21 on Wednesday afternoon, and this morning I woke up, and as usual I go through a lot of material, a lot of stuff that's sent to me, a lot of stuff I can't get to, but there's one particular person that I really want to honor, and I need you all to follow him. This guy has incredible insight, both spiritually, and he approaches things from a spiritual perspective. My great friend, Steve Penny, a man with incredible insight and a great prophetic voice. I actually sent him a message today and I said, Steve, I'd love to spend a vacation in your head. Today he wrote an article called Are You Woke Yet? Now, if you don't follow Steve Penny, Steve and then Penny, please follow him. You will be not only uplifted, but you'll be stirred, you'll be moved. And he brought up the issue of wokeness. I love what Rowan Dean says, woke is a joke, but it actually isn't really a joke. It's serious and it's frightening. It's frightening because wokeness has gone from parliament to the pulpit. Wokeness has gone from community to church. Now, I know when I say this, I get a lot of people, a lot of leaders mad at me, but I'm not here to be popular. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to be a watchman. And in my life, I've experienced some incredible highs and some devastating lows. And sadly, not only is our culture into this woke agenda, sadly, it's creeped into the church. Things like equity. Recently, I heard of a mega church who had to introduce new equity in the church in their board where 40% had to be women and racial equity and everything else. Where the Bible actually says appoint faithful people who are able. Doesn't say equity, nothing to say about that at all. Same organization and many churches now getting up doing the old welcome to country. Well, I have a problem with that. And I'm not being disrespectful to any of my Indigenous brothers or sisters. I do not call upon elders past, present, because they are not the elders that I'm accountable to. Which elders and what do they worship? Let's just deal with that straight away. And by the way, tomorrow I'm going to be having a live interview with George Christensen, and next week with Senator Alex Hennig. And we're going to talk about this, and because all this agenda that Albanese has, and by the way, Morrison as well, all of this agenda does not help the Indigenous community one single iota. If anything, it divides a nation. Let me remind you, last week in Parliament, they had the Aboriginal flag, the Indigenous flag, upside down. They paid someone and they still got it wrong. But Steve says, are you woke yet? And he writes, he says, what does woke mean? Being woke is a new global term meaning to be awake to current social issues, past injustices, racial causes, and the cancel culture of history cleansing. I want to say something right up here, right now. We are not responsible for the sins of our forefathers. It is not only an unbiblical thing. It doesn't make sense. That's like telling me if your father was a criminal, you should go to jail for it. If your grandfather was a criminal, you should go to jail for it. This is nothing but an evil, unredemptive agenda. There is no redemption in wokeness council culture. And while I'm at it, let me add this. While we are trying to cancel people, you can't cancel what God has ordained. You can't do it. See, being woke means you have forgotten ancient boundaries for more modern, humanistic and contemporary attitudes. In other words, the whole transgender thing, the whole climate change stuff, the whole equity stuff that we're into. And by the way, I am for equality of pay, whether you are male, whether you're a female. You do the job, you deserve to be paid for it. So please don't go telling me that I'm sexist, blah, blah, blah. It's not what I'm saying. I believe the right person for the right job, regardless of race, color, religion, or whether you're a male or female. You qualify for the job because you can do the job. Not because you're male or female or you're trans or you're gay or you're straight or you're Christian or you're Muslim or you're Jewish or you're black or you're white or you're yellow, Chinese, pink and any other colour you choose to throw in there. You see, folks, this wokeness is about removing boundaries that are placed there to protect us. Now, let me ask this question. Steve brilliantly says this. Is woke Christian? In the context of its use, it's impossible to retain a Christian worldview and a woke outlook. It is impossible. And I agree. You can't. You can't maintain a woke view and a Christian or biblical one, let alone one that makes sense. Look at our culture right now. Interesting. In Australia, coal exporting through the roof, exporting. It's sustaining our nation. It's the backbone of our nation. And yet people like Adam Bandit, I call him Adam Bandit, Albanese, and our Chris Bowen out there, the very guys, watch this, that use phones that are made in overseas, wear clothes that are made overseas, have a computer made overseas, everything else, they're willing to import from something from overseas, yet punish the very nation that pays them through the very means of which is the backbone financial of this country called coal. This woke agenda not only is destroying our economy, it's crippling our industry, hurting our farmers. The very farmers that they're supposed to be supporting, they're trying to stop them from producing. And these are the people that feed our nation. Woke agenda with its whole climate change agenda, which is not climate change. I mean, who ever thought of this idea? Give the government money to fix the weather. Seriously. But woke agendas are so contrary to any Christian worldview, let alone a common sense one. Now, how does woke think? Woke people are quick to jump onto crusades for popular issues. And I watch this in the church. When the BLM people came out, boy, they all jumped on there, putting their little, black stickers on there. Yet, when a child of a coloured child is raped or abused or tortured in this country, they do nothing. You know why? Because it's easy to be brave from a distance. They say nothing about that injustice. And Senator Jacinta has a brilliant dissertation on this. See, woke people use language that includes words like kindness, inclusive, brotherhood, working together, and then alienate, ostracize, and demonize people that are contrary to their view. And yet they're inclusive. But a Falau is not inclusive. A Mesiti is not inclusive. They tried to vilify and cancel people like you. You that stand for your rights. You that refuse to compromise. You that refuse to stand in your integrity, in your values, in your bodily autonomy. You are a problem. Because you are not woke. So you are a problem. Woke is a joke. They speak kindness. They speak inclusivity. I remember when Hillary Clinton, prior to the election, when she ran against Donald Trump, and what they were going to do is peace and harmony, love and joy. And as soon as they lost, they burnt down cities, they destroyed buildings, their demonic agenda manifested. These very same people that say, be kind, be inclusive, be together, destroy, attack, vilify, demonize, ostracize, cut off from employment, anything that's not in alignment with them. Steve Penny wrote Woke wants to repeal the past, repay the debt, remove foundations and boundaries, rewrite rules, reset the game, and rule over people. That's exactly the spirit of lawlessness and Antichrist. Now let me ask this question. Can religious leaders and churches be woke? The answer is sadly yes. They move gradually towards a woke mindset. They strive to be contemporary rather than be biblical or Christian. They yield to social pressures, then making those social issues the cause, then crusading to pressure all people who embrace your new enlightened state. Brilliant. Let me read it. Churches and their leaders can easily be drawn towards a woke mindset. Churches who strive to be contemporary with the world soon become like the world. By yielding to social pressures, then making those social issues your cause, then crusading to pressure all people to embrace your new enlightened state. And God help you if you don't. You see, I believe woke is a dividing tool of the enemy. I watch as people tear each other apart and destroy each other on the altar of wokeness. Wokeness is not kind. Wokeness has an agenda. Wokeness is not awake. It's not awake. Wokeness destroys boundaries, values, culture, and economy. Have a look at what's happening in Europe right now. Have a look at what's happening to the farmers, to industry, to inflation, and basically to basic human rights. Woke is not woke. Woke is broke. Woke is evil. Albanese, Adam Bandit, sadly a lot of the Liberal Party, and sadly a lot of churches have gone down this road. And I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime. And I've seen a lot of restoration. I have been blessed to see many people restored. Marital failures, moral failures. But I tell you the one thing I've not seen. I've not seen people that went woke or got involved in error ever turn back. I've seen my life bounce back from all kinds of failures. Except when it comes to things like truth. I may have broken commands and broken truths like every single one of us have. But to deny them and change them, that's a completely different thing. I want to encourage you today to share this message. We are going to be hosting our series of revival meetings called The Awakening. We're going to be starting out in Bow Desert on the 18th and going right across Queensland into the Gold Coast, Toowoomba, Hervey Bay. Hey, look, if we're looking for a facility to use in Hervey Bay, if any of you know of a good church facility or any facilities there that we might be able to use in the Hervey Bay, Maryborough area, can you inbox me or let me know? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of pastors and leaders that listen to us that agree with where we're standing. We want to bring a spiritual awakening to that area and other areas. And I know, look, we're going, I'm going for this. We're promoting it on TV. We're going to be doing a lot of print media, social media, advertising. We are going to turn our nation around. That's right, I say we. And I want to thank you for your support. Now, tomorrow, I have a very special 4 p.m. session right here across all our platforms with a great leader, George Christensen. We're going to be exposing who these World Economic Forum people are in our government, right, and in our midst right now. We're going to look at this whole, voice agenda of Albanese does nothing to help the Indigenous people. The Indigenous people of our nation have been used and abused enough by the elites in that culture, and I've got no problem saying that. They're not addressing real issues or real problems. They want to sweep them under the carpet. Legislation can't do what we really need to do as community. Let me tell you, a lot of this is about vote buying. We're going to be exposing the whole issue of this fake immigration at the expense of Australians' jobs and Australians' rights. And we're going to look at it not only from a world view, we're going to look at it from a biblical and Christian view, and of course from just a pure intelligent view. So tomorrow, 4 p.m, I think I said AM, but 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, right here live. Hey, could you like this? Could you follow us on our Instagram and get over to Rumble, please? We have been shadow banned by Instagram, but you can find us on Mesiti. I'll put the link in there. Mesiti links, Mesiti/links. I get confused sometimes myself. And so Mesiti links, I'll put that in our chat. And also for our awakening rallies, be part of it. Come on, let's make an effort and let's change our nation and turn it around. God bless you and thank you for tuning in. Please hey, don't just listen. Listen to me. Don't just listen to this message. Listen, share it. Share it. For every view, can you share it? Come on, make an effort and share it. Just a click of a button and you never know, you could help someone become awake. God bless you.